Meet Sarah, a 68-year-old grandmother who spent her entire life being the perfect hostess. Every family gathering meant 3 days of exhausting preparation, scrubbing floors until midnight, preparing elaborate 5-course meals, and ensuring every decorative pillow was perfectly fluffed. For decades, she took pride in these meticulous efforts until one afternoon changed everything. It was during her grandson Tommy's 10th birthday. Sarah had spent days preparing an Instagram-worthy celebration, complete with handmade decorations and a carefully crafted menu. Exhausted from her efforts, she dozed off briefly during the party. Later, Tommy approached her with wisdom beyond his years. "Grandma," he said, giving her a tight hug, "I don't care about the fancy food or the perfect house. I just want to spend time with you when you're not too tired to play." That moment struck Sarah like a gentle thunderbolt. Had she been wearing herself out all these years for things that didn't really matter? What if being lazy about certain things wasn't just okay, but actually the secret to a happier, more meaningful life as we age? Think about it. We're constantly told to stay active, keep busy, maintain everything just as we did in our 40s. But what if that advice is missing something crucial? What if there are certain things where doing less actually means living more? In today's video, I'll reveal 10 surprising things where being lazy isn't just acceptable. It's actually the wisest choice you can make as you age. These aren't just tips. They're permission slips to let go of exhausting habits that no longer serve you. Stay until the end, because you'll discover how embracing selective laziness can lead to deeper connections with your family, more energy for what truly matters, and a more joyful, peaceful retirement. If you're enjoying this channel's insights into happier, healthier aging, please take a moment to subscribe and turn on notifications. Your support helps us reach more people with these important messages. Now, let's start with the first area where being lazy can actually improve your life as you age: house maintenance. For decades, many of us have been slaves to our homes, spending countless hours maintaining a level of perfection that, frankly, doesn't make us any happier. Consider Maria, an 82-year-old who spent every Saturday for 40 years deep cleaning her entire house. She would meticulously dust every picture frame, polish every surface, and reorganize every drawer. But after a minor heart scare last year, her doctor gave her unexpected advice. "Your house doesn't need to be perfect. Your heart needs you to rest." The truth is, as we age, maintaining a spotless home becomes not just more difficult, it becomes potentially dangerous. Statistics from the National Institute on Aging show that 80% of household accidents among seniors occur during routine cleaning tasks. Even more telling, research indicates that excessive cleaning and household maintenance can lead to increased joint problems, heightened stress levels, and reduced time for essential rest and recovery. Here's what being wisely lazy about house maintenance really means. Focus on the essential areas that directly impact your health and safety. Keep your bathroom clean to prevent bacteria growth. Ensure your kitchen is hygienic for food preparation. Clear walkways to prevent falls. But those baseboards? They can wait. That slight dust on your ceiling fan? It's not hurting anyone. Instead of spending 3 hours cleaning windows, spend 15 minutes enjoying the view through them with a cup of tea. Rather than reorganizing your bookshelf weekly, use that energy to actually read those books you've been meaning to get to. The cobweb in the corner isn't going to ruin your life, but the stress of trying to reach it might. This isn't about letting your home fall into disrepair. It's about being selective with your energy. It's about understanding that at this stage of life, your time and well-being are far more precious than a perfectly polished home. Remember, your house is meant to serve you, not the other way around. Let's talk about social obligations, an area where being selectively lazy isn't just beneficial, it's essential for your mental health and happiness in your golden years. Picture this. Janet, a 73-year-old retired teacher, used to say yes to every social invitation. Book club on Mondays, bridge club on Tuesdays, volunteer work on Wednesdays, church committee on Thursdays, and weekly dinners with different friend groups. She was constantly exhausted but felt guilty about declining any invitation. That is, until her monthly blood pressure readings started concerning her doctor. Here's what research from the Journal of Aging Studies reveals. Seniors who maintain fewer but deeper social connections report higher levels of life satisfaction compared to those who maintain numerous superficial relationships. It's not about the quantity of your social interactions. It's about their quality. Being lazy about social obligations means giving yourself permission to be selective. It means understanding that every yes to an invitation is a no to your rest, your peace, or time with those who matter most. The energy you have in your later years is precious. Think of it like a battery that doesn't charge as quickly as it used to. Stop feeling obligated to attend every community event. You don't need to show up at every grandchild's soccer practice. Choose the important games instead. That neighbor's cousin's retirement party? It's okay to send your well wishes without attending. Those exhausting monthly luncheons with people you barely know? Consider replacing them with meaningful visits with close friends. This isn't about becoming a hermit or disconnecting from your community. It's about being intentional with your social energy. When you do choose to socialize, you'll have more energy to be fully present, to engage deeply, and to actually enjoy the interaction rather than just enduring it. Now, let's examine another area where being lazy can profoundly improve your quality of life: cooking and meal preparation. For years, you might have been the one who prepared elaborate family dinners, spent hours in the kitchen perfecting recipes, or felt guilty about not cooking everything from scratch. Let me tell you about Dorothy, a 75-year-old who prided herself on making everything homemade. She would spend hours preparing 3-course meals every day, just like she did when raising her children. But one day, while chopping vegetables for her famous minestrone soup, her arthritic hands seized up, sending the knife clattering to the floor. This became her wake-up call. Medical research from the National Institute of Health shows that seniors spend an average of 2.5 hours daily on meal preparation, often standing for long periods, which can exacerbate joint pain and increase the risk of falls. More importantly, studies indicate that this extended kitchen time often comes at the expense of other essential activities like rest, exercise, or social interaction. Here's where being wisely lazy about cooking makes perfect sense. Embrace simpler meals. Use pre-cut vegetables. Buy rotisserie chicken instead of roasting your own. Make larger batches and freeze portions. Have breakfast for dinner sometimes. Your worth isn't measured by the complexity of your meals. Remember Betty, 82, who discovered that her grandchildren actually preferred having simple sandwich-making parties with her rather than watching her exhaust herself preparing elaborate meals. They created better memories laughing and assembling silly combinations than they ever did watching her slave over a hot stove. The goal isn't to stop cooking entirely. It's about finding a balance that serves your current stage of life. Your family would rather have you present and energetic at the dinner table than exhausted from hours of preparation. The love you share over a simple meal is just as meaningful as any gourmet feast. Let's talk about something that often drains both our energy and our wallets as we age: gift giving. Many of us grew up believing that showing love meant giving elaborate presents, especially to our grandchildren and loved ones. But there's a liberating truth we need to embrace. Meet Robert, a 77-year-old grandfather who spent years meticulously shopping for the perfect gifts for his 6 grandchildren. Every birthday, Christmas, and special occasion meant hours at the mall, carefully selecting and wrapping presents. Despite his efforts, he noticed something telling. His grandchildren couldn't remember what he gave them last year, but they could vividly recall the afternoon they spent together building a birdhouse in his garage. Research from the Journal of Psychological Science reveals something fascinating. Older adults who focus on experiential giving rather than material gifts report higher levels of satisfaction and stronger family bonds. Even more interesting, studies show that children remember shared experiences with grandparents 4 times more clearly than they remember physical gifts. Being lazy about gift giving doesn't mean stopping altogether. Instead, it means shifting your approach. Rather than spending hours shopping for presents, give the gift of your presence. Instead of wrapping up another toy or gadget, wrap your grandchild in a hug while teaching them your secret cookie recipe. Instead of stressing over holiday shopping, create simple traditions that focus on being together. Consider starting a memory jar instead of a gift pile. Share stories from your youth. Teach a skill you've mastered. or simply spend uninterrupted time listening to their dreams and ideas. These gifts cost nothing but mean everything. They don't require wrapping paper, shopping trips, or the stress of wondering if you've bought enough. This shift isn't about being stingy. It's about being wise. It's about understanding that the most valuable gift you can give is your time, your wisdom, and your love. Now, let's address something many of us struggle with as we age: appearance standards. For decades, society has bombarded us with messages about looking younger, dressing perfectly, and maintaining an image that often feels exhausting to keep up with. Think about Helen, a 69-year-old former executive who spent years coloring her hair every 3 weeks, maintaining an extensive skincare routine, and wearing uncomfortable, age-appropriate clothing because that's what she thought was expected. One day, while rushing to a hair appointment in the rain, she slipped and fractured her wrist. During her recovery, she was forced to let her natural gray grow in, simplify her routines, and guess what? She discovered a profound sense of freedom. Recent studies from the Psychology of Aging journal show something remarkable. Seniors who accept their natural aging process report significantly lower stress levels and higher self-esteem compared to those who struggle against it. Even more interesting, research indicates that older adults who prioritize comfort over conventional fashion standards experience better mobility and fewer joint issues. Being lazy about appearance doesn't mean letting yourself go. It means letting yourself be. It means choosing clothes that make you feel comfortable and confident, not what fashion magazines dictate for your age. It means understanding that your worth isn't measured by how many wrinkles you have or whether your hair is perfectly styled. Consider this. The energy you spend trying to look 10 years younger could be spent feeling 10 times happier in your own skin. That hour you spend applying makeup could be spent swimming, which actually improves your health. The money invested in expensive anti-aging creams could fund experiences that bring genuine joy to your life. This isn't about abandoning self-care. It's about redefining it. Focus on the aspects of appearance that truly matter: good hygiene, clean and comfortable clothing, and most importantly, a genuine smile that comes from feeling at peace with who you are. Let's address a particularly stressful aspect of modern aging: keeping up with technology. Many seniors feel pressured to master every new device, app, or social media platform that comes along, often at the expense of their peace of mind. Consider David, a 72-year-old retired accountant who felt overwhelmed trying to keep pace with every technological advancement. He bought the latest smartphone, struggled with numerous apps, and attempted to maintain profiles on multiple social media platforms because he thought staying current meant mastering it all. The result? Constant frustration, headaches from eye strain, and less time doing what he actually enjoyed. According to research from the Digital Aging Studies Institute, seniors who focus on learning only the technology that serves their specific needs report 60% less tech-related stress than those who try to master everything. More importantly, studies show that excessive screen time in older adults can lead to increased anxiety, sleep disruption, and reduced face-to-face social interaction. Being lazy about technology means being selective. It means asking yourself, does this new app or device actually improve my life? Or am I just using it because everyone else is? If your old flip phone lets you call your grandchildren and makes you feel comfortable, stick with it. If you prefer physical books to e-readers, that's perfectly fine. If Facebook is your limit for social media, there's no need to learn TikTok or Instagram. Take Margaret, 78, who decided to learn only the tech tools that enhanced her hobbies. She mastered Zoom for her weekly book club, learned to use YouTube for knitting tutorials, and figured out photo sharing to see pictures of her grandchildren. Everything else? She happily ignores it. The result? She's more connected to what matters while avoiding the stress of unnecessary technology. This isn't about rejecting technology entirely. It's about using it wisely. Choose tools that enrich your life rather than complicate it. Remember, technology should serve you, not the other way around. Let's talk about something that often weighs heavily on our minds as we age: other people's opinions. For many of us, decades of social conditioning have made us hyper-aware of what others think about our choices, our appearance, and our lifestyle. Take Patricia, a 76-year-old who spent most of her life trying to meet everyone else's expectations. She maintained memberships at clubs she didn't enjoy, attended events that drained her energy, and even redecorated her home based on her neighbors' suggestions. Then, after a particularly exhausting month of trying to please everyone, her doctor diagnosed her with stress-induced hypertension. The American Journal of Geriatric Psychology published a fascinating study showing that seniors who learn to detach from others' opinions experience significantly lower levels of anxiety and depression. Even more compelling, research indicates that this mental freedom often leads to better sleep quality and improved immune system function. Being lazy about others' opinions means finally giving yourself permission to live on your own terms. It means understanding that at this stage of life, your peace of mind is far more valuable than anyone's approval. If you want to wear comfortable shoes instead of fashionable ones, do it. If you prefer quiet evenings at home to noisy social gatherings, embrace it. If your garden brings you joy even though it doesn't look magazine perfect, celebrate it. Remember James, 81, who used to worry about what his neighbors thought of his simple lifestyle. He finally realized that the energy he spent concerning himself with others' opinions could be better used enjoying his morning coffee, reading his favorite books, or having meaningful conversations with friends who accept him as he is. This isn't about becoming inconsiderate or completely disregarding feedback from loved ones. It's about understanding that your life satisfaction doesn't need to be measured by other people's standards. It's about recognizing that the only opinion that truly matters about your life is your own. Let's address a common pressure many seniors face: the need to maintain constant activity. Our society often pushes the message that successful aging means filling every moment with productive tasks or organized activities. Meet Thomas, an 84-year-old retired professor who initially approached retirement like a new job. His calendar was packed with community meetings, volunteer commitments, exercise classes, and adult education courses. He was constantly on the move until one day, during a routine checkup, his doctor noticed his elevated stress levels and asked him a simple question. When was the last time you just sat and watched the birds in your garden? Recent studies in the Gerontology Research Journal reveal something crucial. Seniors who balance activity with intentional rest show better cognitive function and emotional well-being compared to those who maintain constant busyness. The research suggests that periods of quiet contemplation are just as important for brain health as active engagement. Being lazy about constant activity means embracing the value of stillness. It means understanding that productivity isn't the only measure of a well-lived day. If you want to spend an afternoon watching clouds drift across the sky, that's not being idle. That's being contemplative. If you choose to skip a community event to sit quietly with a cup of tea, that's not being antisocial. That's being self-aware. Consider Eleanor, 79, who discovered that reducing her packed schedule actually improved her relationships. With more mental and physical energy, she found herself more present and engaged during the activities she did choose to participate in. Her conversations became deeper, her enjoyment more genuine, and her stress levels noticeably lower. This isn't about becoming inactive or disconnected. It's about finding the sweet spot between engagement and rest, between doing and being. It's about understanding that sometimes the most productive thing you can do is nothing at all. Let's talk about something that often overwhelms us in our later years: information overload. In today's world, we're bombarded with news, updates, and information 24/7, often feeling pressure to stay informed about everything. Consider Martha, a 75-year-old who used to start each day watching morning news, checking multiple news websites, scrolling through social media feeds, and ending her evenings with late-night news updates. She felt it was her duty to stay informed about every global event, political development, and local happening. The result? Chronic anxiety, sleep difficulties, and a constant sense of doom that affected her daily joy. A groundbreaking study from the Institute of Aging and Mental Health reveals that seniors who practice selective news consumption report 45% lower anxiety levels than those who attempt to follow all news constantly. More significantly, research shows that excessive news consumption in older adults can lead to increased blood pressure, disrupted sleep patterns, and heightened stress responses. Being lazy about information consumption means being intentionally selective. It means giving yourself permission to not know everything about everything. Choose one reliable news source instead of 10. Set specific times for news checking rather than constant monitoring. Focus on information that directly impacts your life or genuinely interests you. Look at George, 83, who transformed his relationship with information. He now reads his local newspaper in the morning, enjoys one evening news program, and spends the rest of his time engaged in activities that bring him peace. Gardening, reading novels, or playing with his grandchildren. He discovered that being less informed about every global crisis made him more present in his own life. This isn't about becoming uninformed or disconnected from the world. It's about finding a healthy balance between staying reasonably informed and maintaining your peace of mind. Remember, you don't need to carry the weight of the world's information on your shoulders to be a conscious, caring citizen. Finally, let's discuss perhaps the most emotionally charged topic: the pressure of perfect grandparenting. Many seniors carry an enormous burden trying to be the ideal grandparent, often at the expense of their own well-being and genuine connection. Meet Richard and Joan, both in their 70s, who exhausted themselves trying to be superhero grandparents. They attended every school event, organized elaborate outings, bought expensive gifts, and tried to compete with the entertainment value of video games and social media. Despite their efforts, they often felt disconnected from their grandchildren until they made a surprising discovery. The Child Development Institute recently published an eye-opening study showing that what grandchildren remember most about their grandparents isn't the expensive gifts or elaborate activities, but rather simple moments of genuine connection. Even more revealing, research indicates that grandchildren of relaxed, present grandparents develop stronger emotional bonds than those whose grandparents try to be perfect. Being lazy about grandparenting means shifting from doing to being. It means understanding that your value isn't in what you can buy, organize, or achieve for your grandchildren. It's in who you are to them. Maybe you can't get down on the floor to play anymore, but you can share stories from your childhood while they sit near you. Perhaps you can't take them to expensive activities, but you can teach them how to make your special family recipes. Consider what happened when Joan and Richard simplified their approach. Instead of planning elaborate outings, they started having regular, quiet time with their grandchildren. During these moments, they shared family stories, looked at old photographs, or simply sat together watching birds in the garden. To their surprise, these became the moments their grandchildren looked forward to most. This isn't about being an uninvolved grandparent. It's about understanding that your presence, wisdom, and love are far more valuable than any planned activity or purchased gift. It's about creating space for real connections to form naturally, without the pressure of perfection. Remember, the best gift you can give your grandchildren is a grandparent who is present, relaxed, and genuinely happy to be with them. They don't need a superhero. They just need you exactly as you are. As we wrap up today's video, let me share something profound that Sarah, our friend from the beginning, discovered. Remember how her grandson Tommy just wanted her to be present and not too tired to play? That simple wisdom applies to every aspect of life as we age. These 10 areas where being lazy actually enriches your life aren't about giving up or letting go. They're about growing wiser, choosing better, and living more fully. Think about it. By being selective with your house maintenance, you have more energy for what matters. By simplifying your social obligations, you deepen the relationships that truly count. By embracing simpler meals, you create space for real connection at the dinner table. When you let go of perfect gift-giving, you give something far more valuable, your genuine presence. When you release yourself from rigid appearance standards, you find authentic confidence. When you stop struggling with unnecessary technology, you master what truly serves you. When you free yourself from others' opinions, you finally live on your own terms. By accepting that constant activity isn't the key to a meaningful life, you discover the joy of being present. When you filter out information overload, you create space for peace. And perhaps most importantly, when you stop trying to be the perfect grandparent, you become exactly the grandparent your family needs. This isn't just about doing less, it's about living more. It's about understanding that at this stage of life, wisdom often means knowing what to let go of, what to simplify, and what to cherish. Your time, your energy, and your presence are precious gifts. Use them wisely, share them selectively, and most importantly, enjoy them fully. Thank you for spending this time with me today. If you found value in these insights, please share this video with someone who might need this message. Remember, sometimes the wisest choice you can make is to be a little bit lazy about the things that don't truly matter, so you can be fully present for the things that do. Until next time, take care of yourself, embrace this liberating wisdom, and enjoy the peace that comes with it.